Hello friends, today I am going to reveal some true facts of UFO, Unidentified Flying Object. But first of all, I request you to please share and subscribe my channel for getting my informative true facts videos uninterrupted. Please note that subscription of my channel is free of cost. Now, Unidentified Flying Object, UFO, also called flying saucer, any aerial object or optical phenomenon not readily identifiable to the observer. UFOs became a major subject of interest following the development of rocketry after World War II and were thought by some researchers to be intelligent extraterrestrial life visiting Earth. History: Flying saucers and Project Blue Book. The first well-known UFO sighting occurred in 1947 when businessman Kenneth Arnold claimed to see a group of 9 high-speed objects near Mount Rainier in Washington while flying in a small plane. Arnold estimated the speed of the crescent-shaped objects at several thousands miles per hour and said they moved like saucers escaping on water. In the newspaper's report that followed, it was mistakenly stated that the objects were saucer-shaped, hence the term flying saucer. Sighting of unidentified aerial phenomena increased, and in 1948, the US Air Force began an investigation of these reports called Project Sign. The initial opinion of those involved in this project was that the UFOs were most likely sophisticated Soviet aircraft. Although some researchers suggested that they might be spacecraft from other worlds. The so-called extraterrestrial hypothesis ETH within a year. Project Sign was succeeded by Project Cruise, which is in 1952 was itself replaced by the longest lived of the official inquiries into UFOs, Project Blue Book. Headquartered at the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio from 1952 to 1969, Project Blue Book compiled reports of more than 12,000 sightings or events, each of which was ultimately classified as identified with a known astronomical, atmospheric or artificial human-caused phenomenon. And unidentified, the latter category, approximately 6% of the total, included cases for which these are insufficient information to make an identification with a known phenomenon. The Robertson panel and the Condon report. An American obsession with the UFO phenomenon was underway. In the hot summer of 1952, a provocative series of radar and visual sightings occurred near National Airport in Washington, D.C. Although these events were attributed to temperature inversions in the air over the city. Not everyone was convinced by this explanation. Meanwhile, the number of UFO reports that had climbed to a record high. This led the Central Intelligence Agency to prompt the US government to establish an expert panel of scientists to investigate the phenomena. The panel was headed by H.V. Robertson, a visitor the California Institute of Technology in Pasadena, California, included other physicists, an astronomer and a rocket engineer. The Robertson panels met for 3 days in 1953 and interviewed military officers and head of Project Blue Book. They are reviewed films and photographs of UFOs. Their conclusions were that 90% of the sighting could be easily attributed to astronomical and meteorological phenomena, example, bright planets and stars, meteors, auroras, ants, clouds, or to such earthly objects. Aircraft, balloons, birds, and searchlights. There was no obvious security threats. There was no evidence to support the ETS. Parts of the panel's report were kept classified until 1979, and this long period of secrecy helped fuel suspicion of government to cover up. A second committee was set up in 1956 at the request of the Air Force to review the most interesting material gathered by Project Blue Book. 2 years later, this committee, which made a detailed study of 59 UFO sightings, released its result in a scientific study of unidentified flying objects, as known as the Condon report, named for Edward U. Condon. The physicist who headed the investigations, the Condon report, was reviewed by a special committee of the National Academy of Science. A total of 37 scientists wrote chapters, or part of chapters for the report, which covered investigations of the 59 UFO sighting in details. Like the Robertson's panel, the committee concluded that there was no evidence of anything other than commonplace phenomena in the report and that UFO did not warrant further investigation. This, together with a decline in sighting activities, led to the dismantling of Project Blue Book in 1969. Other investigations of UFOs. Despite the failure of the ETH to make headway with the expert committees, a few scientists, engineers, mostly notable G. Allen Hynek, an astronomer of Northwestern University of Evanston, Illinois, who had been involved with Project Sign, Goose and Blue Book, concluded that a small fraction of the most reliable UFO reports gave identified indications for the presence of extraterrestrial visitors. Hynek founded the Center for UFO Studies, CUFOs, which continues to investigate the phenomenon. Another major US study of UFO sighting was the Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program, AATIP, a separate project that ran from 2007 to 2012. When the existence of the AATIP was made public in December 2017, the most newsworthy aspect of it was a report that the US government possessed alloys and compounds purportedly attained from UFOs that were of unidentified nature, but many scientists remained skeptical about this claim. Aside from the American efforts, the only other officials and fairly complete record of UFO sighting were kept in Canada, where they were transferred in 1968 from the Canadian Department of National Defence to the Canadian National Research Council. The Canadian records comprised about 750 sightings. Less complete records have been maintained in the United Kingdom, Sweden, Denmark, Australia and Greece. In the United States, the CUFO and the Mutual UFO Network in Belvin, Colorado continues to log sighting reports by the public. In the Soviet Union, sighting of UFOs were often prompted by test of secret military rockets. In order to obscure the true nature of the test, the government sometimes encouraged the public belief that these rockets might be extraterrestrial craft, but eventually decided that the descriptions themselves might give away much information. UFO sightings in China have been similarly provoked by military activity that is unknown to the public. Possible explanations for UFO sighting and alien abductions. UFO reports varied widely in reliability as judged by the number of witnesses, whether the witnesses were independent of each other, the observing conditions, ample fog, haze, type of illumination, and the directions of sighting. Typically, witnesses who take the trouble to report a sighting and consider the object to be extraterrestrial origin, or possibly a military craft, but certainly under intelligent control. This inference is usually based on what is perceived as formation flying by sets of objects, unnatural, often sudden motions, the lack of sound, changes in brightness or colors, and strange shapes. That the unaided eye plays tricks is well known. A bright light such as the planet Venus often appears to move. Astronomical objects can also be disconcerting to drivers as they seem to follow the car. Visual impressions of distance at the speed of UFOs are also highly unreliable because they are based on assumed size and often made against the blank sky with no background objects, clouds, mountains, etc. to set maximum distance reflections from windows and eyeglasses. Produces superimposed views and complex optical systems such as cameras, lenses can turn point sources of light into apparently saucer-shaped phenomena. Such optical illusions and the psychological desire to interpret images are known to account for many visual UFO reports, and at least some sightings are known as the hoaxes. Radar sightings, while in the certain respects more reliable, fail to discriminate between the artificial objects and mature tells ionized gas, rain or thermal discontinuity in the atmosphere. Contact events such as abductions are often associated with the UFOs because they are ascribed to extraterrestrial visitors. However, the credibility of the ETS as an explanation of abductions it is disputed by most psychologists who have investigated this phenomenon. They suggest that a common experience known as the sleep paralysis may be the culprit that causes sleepers to experience temporary immobility and a belief that they are being watched. In my next video, I will reveal some more interesting facts of interesting topics. Thanks.